Welcome back to our podcast, everyone. I'm Amrita, and we have Dr. Kushbu here, who's a yoga expert. We often search for answers in all sorts of places for our difficult times, and that's when I read this book called Ikigai. And it's a beautiful Japanese concept of finding the reason or the purpose of life. And today, the discussion is about this book with our guest, Dr. Kushbu. And she told me that this concept of Ikigai is achievable through yoga. So I'm very excited in knowing that part.
Even I'm really excited to talk to you about this concept of Ikigai. And just like how you told me about this book, Ikigai, there's something which came up in my mind also. There's another book which I will tell all our viewers to read. Let me tell you at the end of the session.
So, Doc, now coming to the point, can you let us know about the secret of yogic philosophy, which is going to make this Ikigai possible for us?
Definitely. So, just like how in school we learn this ABC, the kindergarten thing, right? So, the same way in yoga, there's something called kindergarten, which is nothing but the yama and niyama. Okay, so these both are two profound principles of yoga which will make this concept of Ikigai possible. And definitely knowing this concept will shift someone's perception about yoga from that mere physical postures to a lot of life's quest being answered.
Okay. I think right now everyone would be thinking, what's this yama and niyama and how it's gonna help us? Isn't yoga philosophy actually boring in this way to say about life? Could you elaborate on these?
I definitely understand. A lot of you might be thinking yoga philosophy is actually boring, but there are good essence in yoga philosophy. So let me talk to you about it. Okay. So this yama and niyama, I understand that all our viewers might be thinking, what is she speaking in Greek and Latin? But it's actually a very nice principle. So this yamas are nothing but they're like social ethics. Okay, it's like how you interact with people, how you interact with the world around. So that's what is yama. And now coming to niyama, it's like a self-care routine. Okay, it's like the personal disciplines which you follow. And these yama and niyama are under 5 categories each. Now this yama and niyama are categorized into 5 divisions each. Okay, so in yama you have this ahimsa, asatya, satya, aparigraha and brahmacharya. And in niyama you have saucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya and ishvara pranidhana. So again, I will elaborate on all these. Okay, I know I can see your facial expression
this is heavy
right
now. And even I'm not able to still connect the dots. I think even our audiences will be, still wondering what the meaning of these words are.
Yeah, I do understand. Like, I might sound a little complex right now, but I'll give you examples which will make it little more consumable for you people. Okay, now let me just start with this ahimsa. So ahimsa, in short, it's nothing but non-violence, not doing any kind of harm. Okay, but you might be immediately thinking that right now there's no war going on where people are just going with swords and killing. Okay, it's not that kind of an ahimsa. Okay, in today's modern world, ahimsa can be practiced in a way that just that imagine you're just running across a street, okay, and you're seeing a dog who's really scared and hungry. So instead of just chasing out that dog, you're trying to feed it. You're giving it some kind of food or something. So that's an act of kindness which you did, instead of causing any harm to it. So that's what is ahimsa. Did you get it now?
Yes, I do. So that in turn will help us.
Yes. So imagine you're practicing this kind of ahimsa, non-harm, in a lot of little things which you do. Right. Automatically you will feel the sensation that you have not hurt anyone.
Okay. That will in turn help me.
Yes.
Right.
Now the second part is asteya, okay, which is non-stealing. So immediately you might be thinking, I'm assuming you to be a kleptomaniac.
Go on.
It's not that, okay. So again, imagine you're actually working in a collaborative project, okay, and there are a lot of team members who are working with you, and you're trying to credit everyone in a fair way. So that's something called as non-stealing, okay? You're not stealing the credit of someone or the work which they did. Rather, you're making it appreciable for anyone and everyone. So that's how you can practice this in the modern world. Okay?
Got it. So these practical advice seem to be more, more good to understand these concepts, I guess. So I never thought yoga as such crazy things to offer. I think most of our viewers will agree to that. Many of us might be doing this, but then never really thought this is a part of yoga as such.
I'm happy that right now you found my advice to be a bit more practical.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go on in that same flow now. So the second thing what we spoke about was asteya, and now jumping over to the third one, it's satya. Okay. So satya is nothing but truthfulness. I know it's a bit hard in this world to be honest and truthful. Okay. But let's start practicing it in little things. Okay. So for an example, imagine that you're again in some business meeting or something, and they are forcing you to do some unethical business strategy, but you stand out. Even though you're standing alone, you try to advocate, okay, rather than for conformity. So that's what is called as asatya, where you're trying to practice this honesty, at least internally, okay. So now let me break you down to the next one, which is nothing but aparigraha, possessiveness, non-possessiveness, okay. So I know that a lot of us are right now very possessive in today's world. Let it be with materialistic things or even with relationships. A lot of relationships fail because I think partners somewhere feel this possessive nature.
Right.
But let me not talk about that heating conversation and let me come down to this. Okay. So today this possessiveness can be seen as a form of not decluttering. Okay. A lot of us, we have so many things, we just pile up and keep it. We do not declutter it. So try to practice this art of decluttering, the art of letting go. Okay. Sometimes it's also about forgiveness. So when you start practicing all these things, it's another form of aparigraha which you're doing.
Got it.
Okay. And I know the last one, brahmacharya, you might be thinking, I'll be telling you to go be in some spot in mountains again.
Be alone.
Yeah.
Without any partners. No, I can't.
No, it's not that way. Okay. Celibacy in this modern world can again be a form of moderation, what we do. Okay. So imagine that every day all of us are using our phones, we are using our laptops, everything. But are we actually mindful about how much are we binge watching on Netflix? How much are we eating? How much are we doing? So this art of moderation is the modern celibacy.
On those lines.
Yes, right. It's more like mindfulness in whatever you do. Right. So it's bringing that kind of a moderation that even though I'm doing something wrong, let me at least know where's my limit, where I'm not crossing it. Okay, that's what is all about this brahmacharya. Okay.
Got it. I think most of our viewers will agree to that. Many of us might be doing this, but we're never really aware that. And now I think this gives us an idea about how we can bring this yama into actions. And actually it makes sense with Ikigai, right? And now obviously I'm going to ask you to help us with understanding niyama. But since you have explained to us yama, I would like to take a try on niyama.
Definitely.
Will that work out?
You can.
I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Sure.
Okay. So the first one you said was saucha, right?
Yes, saucha.
That is cleanliness.
Yes, cleanliness.
Okay. So I think it's like maintaining a purity in thoughts and not by beating or hurting someone, to be clean inside out.
You're really right, Amrita. You caught the point of that backbiting. Okay. But let me add on a few things to that. Okay. So saucha is also about actually eating wholesome food, keeping your body nourished. So it's not just that thoughts alone. So it's about also what you're consuming, all your five senses, like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, and how you're keeping that clean to your own self and not abusing it. Okay. So what do you think about today's world and how are we handling this?
I think today's world, we are all quite abusive to our bodies, right? We eat junk food and, we do not practice mindfulness, or we stick on to deadlines at work and all. But then coming to our body, we keep us dehydrated, or there is no exercise, enough exercise, there is no walking. So there is no sleep, enough sleep. That is the main thing. In my case, that is the main thing, I guess. There is no enough sleep. So, and these amount of stimulations we give to our senses through social medias, and those are all again quite damaging, right? So it's high time we realize and change that attitude. Maybe yoga can also help us with that, right?
Yes, yoga can help you, and it's very good that you realized that. Okay, realization is the first step always towards healing.
Right.
Okay, and yeah, then you can go on for the next one, Amrita.
Okay, so the
You've
next
already
one...
become like a pro, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's just guessworks, right? So I think the next one is Santosha. So by Santosha, I think it's finding joy in little things.
Definitely correct.
I think that's the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And let me add on, it's not just about the joy in little things, but it's also about feeling contentment from inside out. Okay. You might be feeling joy, but you should also bring that satisfaction
Yeah,
inside
that's the right
you.
word. Okay.
So that's very hard, but that's what the right term is about.
Correct. So this is quite difficult with kind of mixed emotions, I guess, we are dealing with today. And the next is Tapas. That is discipline, the struggle of consistency and commitment to our goal. I think, doing something is very easy, but being disciplined is the toughest part that we are facing. Be it, eating healthy, or be it exercising, everything, I think discipline is the thing which we find it difficult nowadays.
You are really right. And the killer here is actually procrastination. And please don't think
I'm the queen of procrastination.
Pointing out to you. Okay. But that's the actual fact of today's world, right? We are so much into this habit of procrastination.
Right.
And that's what we need to realize at this point when we talk about this tapas. Okay. And yoga will definitely help you in this.
Right. So going on to the next point, I think the next is Swadhyaya, right? Self-study. Learning from our mistakes, I guess. That would be self-study, right?
Yes. And we sometimes learn from our mistakes, but we also need to learn our fears. We also need to learn the flow of life.
Yes.
Also need to bring up a room of acceptance in today's world, because we are constantly keeping our priorities high, and we are constantly in the quest of acquiring more and more, achieving more and more, being that ambitious thing. So I think that's something which we have to lay down a bit right now.
Okay, give some self-love.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
self-study
right
and self-love. Okay.
I think, Amrita, the last one is actually my favorite. It's nothing but Ishvara Pranidhan. Okay. So it's nothing but surrender. So accepting and realizing that at the end of the day, you have nothing in your hands. You don't have control over a lot of things. Okay. So surrendering that flow is what Ishvara Pranidhan is all about.
And having faith too. Having faith and...
Yeah, faith has a lot of point over here.
Yes.
Okay. But it's not only regarding faith, but it's also regarding how you are.
How we are. Okay, got it. So it's all these are so powerful, Dr. Kushbu. It's clear these ancient teachings have so much relevance today, and offering a path for a more intentional and balanced life, just like Ikigai talks about. And how can our listeners start incorporating Yama and Niyama into their lives?
Okay, this is a really good question which you asked. So I would say, before you start on the mat, start with a mirror. Okay, when I say mirror, wake up every day. Ask yourself, did you practice kindness today? Were you actually mindful about the things which you do? And did you speak the truth in your tough situations? So these are the things which you need to ask yourself when you start questioning yourself. And please do not do this at a point of judgment. Do it at a point of curiosity, to know what your inner self is trying to tell you. And when you start this on this mirror and rather from the mat, you will definitely be able to achieve this Yama and Niyama.
That's really made a lot of meaning to this book of Ikigai. And now I would really like to ask you, what's the book which you said in the beginning? I really want to know.
Coming to your point, the book which I was talking about is Teaching Yoga Beyond Poses. Okay. So that's a very beautiful book which I came across recently. And that book actually talks about all these different yogic philosophies. Okay. Just like how I made it down so easy for you, this Yama and Niyama.
Yeah.
These are all discussed in this book in different themes, in different kind of practical tips which you can really practice.
Okay. So is there any tips for reading this book for those who do not understand in first go?
Okay, so that book has lot of content, right?
Yeah.
So what you can do is reflect upon one principle. Okay, take one principle which you want to practice, read about that alone for the week, and try to practice that alone for the week and see how you're able to do that, how you feel with that. So that becomes much more easier. In that way, you'll be able to finish that book.
Okay, thank you so much. For all the viewers, we have attached about this book in the description below. And thank you, Dr. Kushbu, for sharing your wisdom and practical tips. And it's been very enlightening to learn how yoga's ethical practices are and what is the offering from all these things in yoga. And thank you so much. And we'll be back with another expert talk on another topic. Thank you so much, everyone, and like, share, and subscribe to Nirva
Nirva
Health.
Health.